The Dry Hooch mission, helping veterans and their families who survived the war, survive the peace.
Dry Hooch is a place where veterans can gather informally in a coffee house, a safe, comfortable, drug, and alcohol-free environment. Dry Hooch is a nonprofit organization formed by combat veterans to help veterans in their return home.
If you would like to know more about our nonprofit organization or to make a donation and make a difference in a veteran's life, please visit www.dryhooch.org.
No, I'm good. Just been being lazy past few days.
Well, what does it look like when you've been busy?
I mean, I still get on the treadmill in the morning, so I've been doing that pretty regularly. My camera's dirty. That's going to bug me. Hold on.
Yeah, there you go. Wiping my face away.
No, I've been getting on the treadmill in the mornings and trying to do like 30 minutes of like walking. I haven't really started running yet because I took so long off. I thought it was going to be a lot harder to actually like get back in the routine, but I'm just like, walking fast at least does the job. So, I'm trying to be better with it.
Yeah, I took 3 years off. I just now started to get back into it with like the counting the steps, trying to reach 10,000 a day.
Yeah, my phone tracks most of it. I need a watch though that'll keep better track. But just doing.
Do you have an iPhone?
Kiddos. Do what?
Do you have an iPhone or an Android?
Android.
Oh, if you had an iPhone, I'd give you an Apple Watch. Because I just replaced mine. But
the girls want to do that, but I just don't got the money right now because like I still got $1,500 to pay off on our phones already before we get new ones.
yeah.
But I should be getting a settlement. I swear, people shit about settlements. Because this one kid hit me and Peyton right before spring break last year. And he like dented my car and Peyton was in there. So like she kind of got like whiplash and shit. And so because of the car accident and everything, I should be getting a settlement at some point, hopefully soon, because that'll be nice to have some extra money.
They say how much the settlement's going to be?
They're still calculating everything, but this will be my third settlement from a car accident.
Damn. So you know how it goes.
Yeah, I know how it goes. I mean, thankfully, I'm not the one that's been at fault. So, I mean, I end up getting some money out of it. I mean, the first one was like $20,000. The second one, I think I got like 18, like grand. And then this one, I don't know what it'll be. And I think Peyton actually gets some as well since she was a passenger involved.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, are you going to that bicycles and parachutes thing, or that already happened?
No, it's next month. I'm going to it. I got my plane ticket and everything. I'm actually supposed to be doing a speech. I got it all prepared. I just got to actually start practicing it. That'll be my first speaking event that I plan on. Out of hopefully way more to come.
I hate public speaking. I hate it more than anything else. Yeah. Because it's like I have a plan and rehearsed, and then I get up there and I'm like, it's just all out the window.
Yeah, I'm nervous, but I mean, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah. I always get thrown into situations where like, hey, you got to go speak at this. And I know nothing about what it's about. And then I go there and I see signs and it's like, totally not the topic I thought I'd be talking about.
For the most part, everything that I should be dealing with is going to be more focused on changing your mindset into a more positive directive rather than just being stuck in the negative. And so it shouldn't change much than that.
That's cool. That's cool. I'd say my hardest one is like when we got a check and it was from grade school kids. And I really didn't know what to say, tell them. about the organization and veterans. It was such a train wreck. I was like,
Yeah, that would be interesting.
it's like, yeah, and not cuss either, because I'm used to talking to adults and veteran type shit. And it's just like, yeah, thank you guys. This is great for veterans that are coming back home. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And then the like teacher or like whoever it was, like nudging me and be like, hey, you got 3 minutes to talk if you want.
And it's like, yeah, what do you say to kids to keep it kid friendly and the
Yeah.
concept that you're helping, veterans and what they're dealing with because they don't always know they don't know. They're naive to that whole extent, hopefully.
Yeah, or they see it and they're all around it, but then, all the other parents that don't have an idea or in denial of that shit, and you're like, well, yeah, my dad came over and he beat up some of his friends. He got in a fight with mom. He was really drunk, broke the table, and I hid in my bedroom. That's a kid's story there, Oh man, from her perspective of, yeah, that'd be crazy. Never heard that one.
Trinity consistently talks about that one time my dad tried to kill me because he threw a mattress at me. And I'm like, Trinity, I don't think that was intentional. It just ended up happening that way because he was pissed off and he went to throw the mattress and move it, which I think was like a little twin mattress. But like she ended up being in the way when he chunked the mattress because he was pissed. And she's like, he tried killing me. I'm like, oh my God, no, he didn't. But you can't convince her otherwise, though.
Are you going to be upset if this is live right now?
No.
Okay, cool. No, I really just got to start practicing using this equipment. Yeah, because we were just getting the recording part down, but then my boss is like, well, I want videos. I want videos now. All right. So,
whatever works, man.
Yeah, I'm going to end up just using my phone and using like the TikTok editing apps like CapCut and Splice and stuff like that anyways.
See, I've never been on TikTok, so I don't know how that stuff works. I need to get better at my social media stuff in general when it comes to what I'm working on, but I'm just like, me.
Oh, tell me about how Peyton's party went.
It went really good. There was David Calderon, Matt Jones, and then one of the other guys from unit. He's on my Facebook. They showed up, and then Peyton had quite a few of her friends there, which just in general, I'm happy about that because she's never been somebody to really social very much, and so having friends there definitely was a good thing for me to see. But she just don't like people because people irritate her.
Yeah, I get it. Some people are like, introverts. It's just more comfortable being that way.
Well, she's like that because of the craziness that we went through with Jacob. But, she's being around David Calderon like she has, I think has helped her quite a bit. Because she's realizing that it's just not always a crazy situation when you're dealing with veterans, because that's what was just forced on us forever. It's like, oh, I'm like this because I'm a veteran. I'm like, no, you're just a douche.
Yeah.
But she's learning a lot, and like doing some of the trips and the different things that we've done with military, which I think the guys have the same concept, sadly enough, is like, oh, well, you're doing this just because it's a pity party. Because I served in the military and I got wounded or this or that. It's just a big, huge pity party. And so for a longest time, Peyton didn't want to do or be involved with a lot of that stuff. But being involved with the Saber 6, she's been able to look at it in a different light now. And so being a pity party, she sees it as something that's just a genuine, like, caring for others. And so that's definitely been rewarding, I guess, for me to see that transition for her. But me trying to get the other guys involved, it seems to be, the same situation of just not wanting to do it because, a pity party story. And I'm like, it's not a pity party, damn it.
Yeah.
David and Matt was able to hang out here at the house after the birthday party. And they hadn't seen each other in like 14 years, give or take, or something, you know? And they were just having a hell of a time. I mean, laughing and joking, watching videos and pictures from Afghanistan. And they were both like, man, we need to do this more. We need to hang out more. And I made a little bit of a comment, but I know how to read, you know, the guys. And so I made the comment. I'm like, well, that's what we're trying to do at the state. Just sign up for the emails and then you get the information kind of thing. And he made a comment, so I just kind of dropped it. But it's like, this is what y'all are wanting. You want the camaraderie, you want to hang out, you want to like be able to chill with your family, but like you're just too stuck in your stubborn ways.
Yeah, they don't want to do it through Kalinda.
Yeah. Kalinda's cool though. I mean, in all honesty.
Yeah, it's just like the huge separation from like, you know, the janitor to the school principal. I don't know how to like.
No. I totally get it, and that's what I've made comment about. I'm like, you know, you're talking about a colonel compared to these lower enlisted guys like our guys were, and there's just a big, huge different of a gap. And then when a lot of people get around Kalinda, he's just very standoffish, and I think that's just because
Kalinda is standoffish, or.
Do what?
Kalinda is standoffish around the other guys?
He's getting better with it. I think it's something that like a lot of the guys deal with, especially after they come back. They're just very, very reserved and they don't say much. But like with Kalinda, he honestly really cares and he's got that emotion behind it. And so it's like he's trying to block out the emotion so he doesn't like bust out in tears or, you know, have some issues, but he's getting better with handling it and is becoming more comfortable with those situations. But, you know, you got to be able to be down to earth and open when it comes to these guys and not sit there with that title in a sense. And he doesn't sit there with the title, but I think it just, like you said, it makes things difficult in general when it having that big gap.
Yeah. Not only that, his position is always like with the rank, it's like being a politician. You can never say anything wrong, you know, without being judged by everybody. So I understand that, but at the same time, everybody's like, it's just anybody in a leadership is always hated by everybody else that's not in a leadership position.
Yeah, and I get that. You know, a lot of people, when you come to a colonel concept, is like, oh, well, you know, you're just into the political concept of it. You really don't know what's going on ground, you know, the ground floor kind of thing to a whole extent. But I mean, like when we were in DC with him, I mean, we were all at some restaurant or whatever, having some drinks and just chilling. And I mean, he's really down to earth, realistically. If people actually like open up to that whole concept, he's pretty fucking cool. I mean, he calls me and talks with me and, you know, always says, you know, if I need anything kind of thing or whatnot. So, pretty cool. I mean, the girls have been around quite a bit because of us doing the different stuff with the foundation, and he's great with them too. So good times.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like what he's doing. You know, because you got to figure out some way to bring attention to it. You got to find some way to get money pulled into it. You know, and securing money is like the hardest thing. And then.
Well, the thing is you got to show that what you're doing is making a dent in what you're trying to accomplish. And I mean, I think right now we have more guys signed up to receive the emails. Like, you don't have to do anything. It's almost like a junk email you get and you can delete it if you want. But like for people to just sign up for the emails, we have more people from Bravo Troop than any of the other troops. At last I knew. And it's like, you know, you're just getting a fucking newsletter, but you're also saying like, you know, you're still alive. You know, you're also saying like, in a sense, you know, you can be involved. I know next year we're working on it now, but we're trying to set up different weekend trips, more or less. Where, for like instance, you can go whitewater rafting for half the day, and then you can go like rock climbing or bike climbing. And I'm sure there's going to be some work deals that you got to do possibly within that, but it's just getting people together. Like, you want to sign up for it, I think you might have to pay for your travel to get to the location, but once you get to the location, everything will be paid for, and you don't have to pay for anything. And so we're going to set up some of those like throughout the U.S. At different times of the year specifically. And so people that actually have signed for the emails will get those newsletters. And hopefully we can bring guys together and just have, like we used to back at the barracks, of just having the barbecues and football and just, BSing and having fun. And that's what we're trying to do. So slowly but surely.
Cool.
So what you up to?
Working like crazy. Yeah.
How are the kiddos?
They're good. Spencer's in judo like 3 times a week, so I got to pick him up for that.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh. So her new baby's daddy got drunk, and I guess he's a pretty bad drunk. And I was this is like at 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm going to pick up Spencer for judo, and I'm right outside on the deck, knocking on the door. And he comes up, kind of like pushes his chest up to mine and goes, "She's fucking crazy, dude. She's crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. You're not telling me anything new." And then I'm like, "All right, Spence, come on. It's time to go to judo," like in the screen door. And she's in his bedroom with Spence, and they're like back by the door and shit. And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then she's like, "Yeah, Spence isn't going to judo." I'm like, "Why not?" And then she's like, talking about her man, which his name is Brian, is like, "He was drunk and picked up your son and has been driving around my daughter all day drunk." And I was just like,
Oh, damn.
"All right, Crystal, handle your bullshit. Like, I'm out of here. See you later, Spence." Instead of giving him like to judo, like a structured environment, she puts him in the middle of it. So about an hour later, I guess, she puts him out the window because he's trying to break into the house. And then my son calls 911, and then the cops come and arrest. Yeah. And they have like only a 3-month-old or 4-month-old baby together too.
Yeah.
And he was already on probation for a domestic violence case. So he's going away for a couple of years now.
Jacob was looking at getting like 2 or 3 different convictions over 10 years with felonies from beating up his pregnant wife. Supposedly she was pregnant and she lost the babies. I'm not sure about all of it, but the fucker got off. And I'm like, how did you do that? They didn't even bring the shit that you had against me. He's like, no, they didn't do any of that because I used some veterans court bullshit. And I'm just like, dude, you're a fucking pansy. He fucking got off on those fucking years. And he's been trying to contact me because he's like, I want to see Trinity. I really miss Trinity. Nobody wants to have anything to do with me. And I'm like, she don't want to talk to you. Because if she does, she's so outspoken like I am. She's going to get on the phone and say some shit that's going to piss him off.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he did, and I don't know if it has something to do with the years he was looking at, but he doesn't have control over his VA pension anymore. And some law firm, I guess, has control over his pension money now. So he still receives it. He just can't use it, or I don't know exactly the details. And so he's finally caught up on child support and supposedly supposed to be paying monthly now. I haven't really checked my account, which but fucking, I mean, at least that situation's kind of got better in that department. But I mean, shit.
So wait a second. So just let me catch up a little bit. So I heard you say something about his far behind in money and there's butt fucking going on.
Well, you know, the good topics, right?
So what it is, he has a payee, is what it is. And I deal with those guys all the time, and it's because they can't manage their money. And so the VA basically tells them, like, hey, you can't receive your check until you get a payee, and then the payee has to delegate where your money goes.
Well, it's some law firm that's the one that's actually delegating it now.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you actually have to pay them for the service. Oh yeah, it happens all the time. Like we get, especially veterans with addiction, they got bad addiction problems that are just blowing all their pay on.
Yeah.
And they get evicted and they get all this, stuff where basically nobody will deal with them unless they get a payee, and then the payee is assigned to pay their rent and all that shit.
I mean, it could have been something like that too, because I think he got pretty bad into the drugs, but
yeah.
I mean, I still don't want to have nothing to do with Trinity. I mean, shit, he hasn't seen her in 2.5 years, roughly.
Yeah.
But then, I get, because I'll ask a guy's point of view. I'm like, okay, from a guy's point of view, not that necessarily I'm keeping her from him, but because I'm like, hey, do you want to talk to him? Like, if you want to talk to Jacob, I'll totally let you call him and talk to him, But she doesn't want to. And I'm like, I'm not going to force my kid to see somebody or talk to somebody that they don't even know. I mean, you're more or less a complete stranger. And so some of the guys are like, well, that is her father, though. He should be able to have those rights, more or less. At least from the past, he hasn't been in a good place, and I don't need that around her. So it's like a catch-22 of what to do.
Do supervised visits.
Yeah, and last time he was like, so I have this new house, and I got a boat, and I got a four-wheeler, and I want y'all to come down here, and I want y'all to spend the weekend with me, and I can take you out fishing. I just want to spend time with you. I want my family back. And I'm like, Jacob, I'm not getting back with you. Like, there is no way in God's earth that's ever going to happen. We're not a family. And so it's not even necessarily directed with her a lot of times. It's directed to wanting to see me and wanting to be with me. And I'm just like, dude, it's not what it's about.
Yeah.
And so it's always, he's a narcissist. So he's always got an underlying deal. He's like, I want to talk to the girls. I'm like, Peyton don't want to have nothing to do with your sorry ass.
Yeah. You're not even her dad.
Yeah.
You're not a stepdad. You're just a dude that was there. Yeah.
Well, even this is fucking hilarious because I don't know if he was on some binge of something, but he went and found quote unquote meteorite rocks on the beach or something. And so he sends me this envelope of rocks saying, this is $4 million and all you got to do is get it looked at and I'm taking care of you and the girls and knowing how well you're doing and you're just such a good gold star wife. And I'm putting my status into it. I'm like, you don't need to have nothing to say about any of that. And he's all like, and I contacted some scientists and stuff like that. And one of the rocks might be real, but the rest of them aren't. And I was trying to tell him, I'm like, Jacob, like this is not even real. And he wants to sit there and laugh at me and say that I'm just silly, more or less, AKA stupid, and I need to research it. And it's just like, dude, if they're real, why don't you go get them examined and then send me the money, okay?
Yeah, and you're like, you're probably fucking high right now.
Yeah.
Because that's some shit some fucking crackheads would say. Let's be real.
I'm like, he sent me a picture and he had his whole bed just covered in rocks, saying that they're meteor rocks, and had them all sorted out and all this other shit. And I'm just like, dude, you must be on some good shit because that's ridiculous.
Crazy.
But yeah, fun times, man. Y'all still in the apartment?
Yeah. I got evicted, so I have to stay in the apartment until we get a VA home loan.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, probably another 2 years just to get above credit and get that money saved.
Yeah, I understand that. I know Peyton's party definitely put me in a bind. But, I mean, it's expensive having a fucking huge-ass house. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll start seeing some money come in with the speeches and stuff that I'm going to be doing, because with the Saber 6, they did those classes and stuff that you could sign up for, and with doing so, I was able to meet some other individuals with that helped me get connected to some other resources. And then one lady that's been working with the Saber 6, Dee Dee, she's amazing. And she's an auctioneer, but she does a lot of like speeches and this and that and whatnot. And so she's going to help me be getting more involved in that also. So hopefully I'll be more like a motivational speaker kind of thing and be doing different speeches all over the place and getting money for it and having some extra money come in that I can spend on my bills.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, but I haven't done any speeches and stuff like that, so it'll be a little nerve-wracking at first.
Yeah. So what I have to do is I have to run a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I have to run our training, and then I have to run our peer support app.
Yeah.
So it's like things that are pretty technical and shit, but that's the only way I'm going to be able to get a salary next year.
Yeah, I get that. I definitely need the money coming in. I mean, they've been wanting me to do more on like LinkedIn, but I haven't gotten on there too much, and I'm not that familiar with the platform. But once I do the speech next month in California, they're going to record it and stuff like that for me as well, so I can put it on my platforms. But at least I'll have, one under my belt, so I know how it feels, and I can go from there on it.
Yeah. One thing that we met with the Wisconsin Department of Veteran Affairs. So what's crazy is that's actually just the state, and they aren't actually the VA. That's just what they're called. So the state funding for all veteran stuff, basically. And one of the things that they said is, yeah, there's not really an outside support group that exists like the FRG for families like transitioning,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I can see where you're coming from on that. That is definitely a situation or an area that needs to be addressed for sure.
Because it's like this, like in my case, everybody was like, I told him, I'm like, hey, I got some anger issues. I'm not sure exactly what, but just don't fuck with me,
Yeah.
And nobody says anything until they're choked out laying on the floor. And then they're like, yeah, you probably need some therapy. And then they're all about it. They're telling you like every day you should go get some therapy. And I'm like, well, you should go fuck off or go leave me alone,
Yeah.
Because you weren't with me every day in the Army while I was getting my balls smoked off, like fucking crawling through vomit and everything else, getting pissed off. You weren't there for that process.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to come back and you guys are fucking squishy ass, soft ass motherfuckers. And you expect me to be like a fucking squeeze toy or something.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, so just...
It's difficult to transition when you don't have any type of preparation. I mean, I know that they're trying to do, or from my understanding, they're trying to do better with transitioning classes or whatever. But, I mean, it's not easy at all when you don't have that support. Like I was talking with Dee Dee the other day, they say that it takes a village to raise a family or kids in general. And I'm like, it takes a fucking village to be just human in itself, because you got to have that connection to other people to be able to like handle your shit that get it,
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to be able to have that support.
Very true.
I mean, that's why I'm trying to bring in, other surviving spouses, but even the one guys that are signed up, let's say like yourself, getting your wife involved in the group with, say Saber 6, because that's what we're dealing with, but, getting them a part of that unit's family connections, because y'all are all going through the same shit. I mean, it ain't news that your husband blows up, or, if your wife, I don't know. I mean, sometimes wives, in a sense, kind of demasculate and make men more, whatever that is, less manly, because the woman sits there and takes care of everything. Well, because the guy's been gone forever because of the deployments or this or that. So you just learn to fucking deal with it. But then when the guy comes back, it's hard to relinquish that power. And it's like, well, you got to have the man doing manly things so he feels contributing to the household or this or that. But if you're constantly taking care of it all yourself, he doesn't have that, place there in the home in a sense.
And then he can make the really serious life decisions like, man, what kind of clothes or what outfit do I have to wear today?
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's why for me, it's always been a catch-22 because I got both sides of it. Like, I've dealt with the dying spouse and I've dealt with the crazy veteran bullshit. And so I can give others that insight compared to most individuals that don't have it. And that's why, I mean, when the Saber 6, I got connected with this one lady that does, it's called the Mind Shift game specifically. And it's like an 8-week course that you can do to help retrain your brain in more positive aspects of life. And the speeches that I'm going to be doing, with people and whatnot is because I've had that I've been there and I've done that. It's like, y'all can get through this. It's not the end of the world kind of thing. Like, look what I've went through and I've overcome it because of, thinking differently and putting myself out there. But you gotta have that support. And when people become isolated, like a lot of the soldiers freaking isolate themselves, it doesn't make it better.
No, it doesn't. That's definitely like increases the problem. But at the same time, you don't feel like you fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
Or you just don't want to be around people because you're like, I either have my own prison at home where I play video games, or I go outside and somebody pisses me off and I punch him in the face, and then I'm at big boy pound you in the ass prison,
Yeah, that's true. That's why I wish I could get, like what I said when David and freaking Jones was here. I mean, having that camaraderie back of somewhere comfortable, something familiar because it's one of your bros, like, that they get it. You don't have to sit there and talk about it all like, woe is me, but like, or what I've been through, but just having that togetherness, just getting the guys out of that, freaking bubble that they're in at home and realizing that there's so much more to life. I mean, it changes you.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I mean, I wish I could have recorded it almost of having Calderon and freaking Jones sitting there like bullshitting because of the smiles they had on their face and like just laughing and joking. Like even Patty and David's son, Johnny, he's 16. He's like, he's never really seen his dad, in a sense, like act like that quite. He's never really, I mean, David, has always been a chill dude. He's very chill, but he hadn't seen like the videos and the pictures and all this other stuff from Afghanistan. And so it was like a new side of his dad that he had never even seen.
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome for sure. That's why I was telling Patty about like the trips and stuff that we're going to be trying to get started up, and hopefully, she can talk to David and convince him to go to one of these things. I mean, even you and your wife, being able to go and just bullshit, have a couple beers if you want, and some barbecue, and just bullshit. Like, that's what it's about. I think we got 7 people signed up right now that are going to be going to California out of the guys. I'm not sure who all it is, but, hopefully we can end up getting more involved.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, yeah, I want to go to this, and I was like, maybe I should start saving money. And then, this time of the year is worse because it's like you vacation all summer, right? And then now you're preparing from my end, it's like birthday, Christmas. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and right now it sucks because I have this thing I got to be at the 16th, no, the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling my boss is going to be like, no, there's no way I can let you go November 10th through the 12th.
Oh, I get it. It's definitely difficult. I mean, for me to, and it's just me going out there this time. The girls aren't going with me. But the plane tickets, and then, I mean, they got a good price for the motel rooms and for the event. We only had to pay $191, so $191 when it comes to the motel room plus the event in itself. And then, I mean, the plane tickets in itself was like $500, give or take. So, I mean, it definitely is costly, but, I mean, hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go skydiving.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Oh, yeah. It'll be awesome. I'm excited. I need some adventure in my life. I'm done dealing with just being freaking idle.
Yeah.
I mean, I went whitewater rafting like 2 years ago. Well, this summer would have been 2 years. And that was like a freaking blast. 5 days on the freaking river out in the middle of nowhere, going whitewater rafting, sleeping on the freaking side of the bank. That was amazing. And I mean, it was costly. I mean, but I think personally it was worth it. But I would definitely want to go again too. But if you go directly to the business in itself, because I used a travel agency that she started out, she's a widow, she's not military, but somehow or another got connected with this chick on Facebook, and her current new husband, they've been doing trips for like 10 plus years now or something. So initially it started out as a widow thing, but now it's just, anybody can go. It doesn't matter who you are. So you have, give or take 10 to 20 different individuals that are widows of some sort or another, and you book a trip with them, and they have all the connections to all the places and this and that, and they take care of everything. So it was like roughly $5,000 for me to go with the travel agency people. But if I was to go direct, just the whitewater trip in itself, which they do all the food, they get you on the little bitty fucking like plane ride, which is like a pedal jumper, would be like $2,500. But then you still got to pay for your plane ticket there. You got to pay for one night of lodging before you get onto the trip and stuff like that. So you're still probably looking at a good $3,000. I mean, it's a little bit cheaper, but it was worth it. I liked it. I'm like, I want to go again.
Yeah, there is so many veteran things that like have trips and stuff.
Yeah, there is this one thing. There's a mountain. It's called Gold Peak Mountain, Gold Star Peak Mountain, something like that, for military. And there's different organizations that'll pay for it. But you climb a fucking mountain, and then at the very top of the mountain, they have this like, I don't know, pole thingy that you can like hang the dog tags and whatnot like that of the soldiers on it.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's in Alaska, so you got times that are like snowing and all this other shit, but I think that would be a cool adventure to go on, because I mean, if you have to pay for it out of your pocket, you can, but like if you get another different organization that is going, then it can be all covered. But I think that would be a pretty cool tribute in a sense to do.
Yeah.
Of course, Peyton's always like, don't leave me an orphan. I'm like, shut up, that's so mean to me.
Oh, she's not lying though.
No, she's not. And so when I went whitewater rafting, and Peyton and I are like always texting and communicating, and I didn't get to tell her like, hey, we're going to be off, grid now. And so she knew what group I was with, because she could access my emails and all this. And so she hadn't heard from me, and she started doing like CSI work and like investigating like who I was with, what their name was, and his wife, and all this other stuff, because she was about to, I swear, to call out National Guard to figure out where mommy was. And I told the dude, I'm like, hey, I'm telling you right now, my kid's going to be having anxiety like crazy because I didn't get to tell her we were lost communication yet. And And so he finally, a couple days, 2-3 days into it, he finally let me use his sat phone to text Peyton and let her know that I was okay. And of course, her first response was, "Nice to know you're not dead." I'm like, "You little shit." But I like my adventures.
Yeah, you gotta have them.
Yeah.
I just love road trips. That's what I love. Because you can just get out of your car and do anything. You're not stuck in one spot, you know?
Yeah.
But those are expensive.
It was fun. Like, you would
Who's-
have like
who's,
stops that we would stop on a regular after like so many miles down the river. And then instead of just being in the big, huge rafts with like 4 or 5 people, they had these little kayaks that you could take out. And so I did class 3, 2 and 3s, 1, I think 4 rapid. And I was going over the rapids, and I fell out once, and they had to pull me in. I'm like, okay, I know what SEAL training feels like now. Because when you got that fucking water coming over you, and you're trying to get air, and you can't get air because you're getting waterlogged, I'm like, oh my God, that shit was insane. But I didn't die, so let's do it again. That's Trinity's thing, too. She's like, I didn't die. I'm good. I'm like, Lord, help me.